Have you ever felt like your brain is just stuck in first gear? Like you're trying to think through this thick mental molasses? Well, today, we're going to dive into a super simple but really powerful protocol that's designed to clear that fog and sharpen your focus. And get this, the secret isn't what you eat, it's when you eat. Seriously, we've all been there, that frustrating brain fog where you just can't seem to think straight. But imagine, what if you could just hit a reboot switch on your brain every single morning? The secret to that kind of clarity is probably a lot simpler than you think. Now, this isn't some new complicated diet. The whole key, the entire idea, is just shifting your focus from what you're eating to when you're eating it. That's it. And that one simple shift is the idea we're going to unpack right now. So, how do we actually do it? Well, it all starts with the first and most fundamental piece of the puzzle, setting up your 16-8 fasting window. Okay, the rule here is just beautifully simple. You fast for 16 hours straight, and yes, the time you spend sleeping totally counts towards this, and then you get all your eating done within a compressed 8-hour window. So a really classic example is you finish dinner by 8 p.m., and then you just don't eat again until noon the next day. That simple structure, that's the foundation for everything else we're about to talk about. So what's actually happening inside your body during those 16 hours? Well, it's basically a massive fuel switch. See, your body normally runs on glycogen, which is just stored sugar. It's quick, it's easy fuel. But after about 12 to 14 hours of not eating, those sugar stores start to run pretty low. And that's when your body flips this metabolic switch and starts burning fat for energy, producing something called ketones. And for your brain, ketones are like premium high-octane fuel. It's just cleaner and way more efficient. And look, this isn't just some trend. The science here is really solid. There's some groundbreaking research from a guy named Dr. Sachin Panda on what he calls time-restricted eating. And it shows that this schedule actually aligns our metabolism with our body's natural internal clock. What that means is you're not fighting against your own biology anymore. You're finally working with it. So once you've set your window, the real magic starts to happen in the morning. And this brings us to what I call the focused fasting morning, because this is when you're going to really start to feel that mental boost. All right, so what can you actually have during your morning fast? First, hydrate. Drink plenty of water, and here's the good news. Black coffee or unsweetened tea, they're not just allowed, they can actually make the whole thing even more effective. But this second point is absolutely critical. You have to avoid all calories. I'm talking a tiny splash of milk in your coffee, a little pinch of sugar, anything like that breaks the fast and shuts down all those awesome brain-boosting benefits. So why do you feel so incredibly sharp and focused during a fasted morning? Well, it all comes down to your brain chemistry. Fasting naturally ramps up the levels of neurotransmitters called catecholamines. Just think of these as your body's own built-in alertness system. They give you this clean, stable sense of focus, but without any of the jitters or the nasty crash later. Okay, so you've navigated the morning, you're feeling sharp. Now comes the next crucial step, the brain-friendly first meal. Because trust me, how you break your fast is just as important as the fast itself. Right. To keep that mental clarity going, you have to break your fast strategically. You want to start with protein and healthy fats. That's going to give you stable, long-lasting energy. Then add in some fiber from vegetables. But the most important thing, you have to avoid that rush of simple carbs and sugar. That means you got to steer clear of the bread, the pastries, and the sugary drinks. And here is exactly why this is so critical. See, after a fast, your body cells are incredibly sensitive to insulin. So if you hit them with a huge blast of sugar, your body just unleashes this massive flood of insulin, which then leads to a super fast blood sugar crash. And guess what that crash feels like? Yep, the dreaded brain fog comes roaring back, along with that tired, sluggish feeling. It completely undoes all the amazing work you just did. Getting that daily focus is a huge win for sure. But the benefits of this protocol, they go so much deeper. So let's talk about the powerful long-term effects, starting with your brain's own deep cleaning process. So when you fast for 16 hours or more, you kickstart this incredible process called autophagy. The easiest way to think about it is like your body's own dedicated cellular cleaning crew. It goes around, finds old, damaged, junky cell parts, and recycles them. And Nobel Prize-winning research has shown that fasting is the single most powerful natural way to trigger this cleanup, which is just vital for long-term brain health. But wait, it gets even better. Fasting also significantly boosts a protein called BDNF. And the best way to think about BDNF is like fertilizer for your brain. Seriously.
It actively helps you grow new neurons, and it strengthens the connections between the ones you already have. So you're not just clearing out the junk with autophagy, you're actively building a stronger, more resilient brain with BDNF. It's amazing.
Now, once you get comfortable with that 16-8 schedule and you want to maybe take things to the next level, you can try occasionally extending your fast to 18 or even 20 hours. You don't have to do it every day. Just doing this once or twice a week can seriously amplify both that cellular cleanup and the production of that brain-building BDNF.
Okay, we have covered a ton of science and the steps, so let's pull it all together into a really simple, powerful action plan for you.
Here it is, the entire protocol on one simple cheat sheet. First, you've got your window. Adopt that 16-8 schedule. The why? To switch your brain over to that clean ketone fuel. Second, your morning. Stick to 0-calorie fluids to boost your natural alertness. Then your first meal, remember to prioritize protein, fat, and fiber to avoid that energy-killing insulin crash. And finally, the optional boost. Every now and then, extend your fast to activate that deep cellular cleanup.
The power to clear your mind, to sharpen your focus, and to protect your brain for years to come. It's not in some expensive pill or supplement. It's a biological switch that you already have inside of you. Your brain is waiting. So the only real question is, are you ready to flip it?